Hi, Jason Tushman back here, episode 23 of Spot On Patient Acquisition. We're going to discuss today our recommendations for best practices in converting consultations to procedures and services. We want to recognize first, before we get started in this, the market that you exist in today, okay? In elective healthcare, every provider has a ton of competition. There's a bunch of alternative services and procedures, and your competition is not just direct, it's also indirect as well. And you've got a very difficult consumer to work with because they have so much access to information and they live in this kind of VIP Kardashian world. So this process is set up to play offense against that market. Point of scheduling, okay? Assuming you've done your lead management appropriately, you are going to make sure that your point of scheduling filters the consumer to make sure you bring in realistic opportunities. First and foremost, credential the practice, okay? You don't need to spend $10,000 a month to a consultant to learn how to sell the practice. How many years have you been in service? What are the number of procedures that you've done with respect to what the consumer is interested in, okay? Find those 3 or 4 things that you're going to talk to that interested consumer about that get them excited to have a consultation with you. And it can be different for each procedure, but make sure that you credential every consumer that comes in about the practice. Second, okay, filter them with the price range of the service before you put them on the calendar. You don't want to bring somebody in for a $6,000 procedure that thinks it costs $3,000. That's going to waste your time. So you want to provide a price range, which gives you the flexibility to work with the consumer when you find out exactly what they want once they're in. So always provide a price range to filter the consumer based on the cost of the procedure or service. Second, how fast do they want to have that procedure? Do they want to have it in a week? You're going to get them in tomorrow. Do they want to have it in a year? You may not get them in till next week or 2 weeks down the road based on the availability of your calendar. So time to surgery or procedure is very important in making sure that you filter appropriately. Now the third, depending upon how open your calendar is, okay, and how much room you have, the third is something that I believe is important as well, and that is filter for payment method. You've told them what the price range is. It's okay to ask them how are they going to pay for that? Cash, credit card, financing, okay? You say it productively, you say it professionally, but understand if they have a method by which to pay for the procedure that you've quoted the range on, okay? And that'll help you set up your calendar as productively as possible. Now, the day of the consult, we want to transfer this information into the post-consult process. Your patient coordinator or you as the doctor yourself need to consistently go over what is the price. There shouldn't be any surprises because you've already discussed the range here. Payment options, you've already discussed it here, should be no surprises. And surgery calendar, you already know when they're going to be available. So if you did the consult right and you have the right price, you should be able to get them on the calendar or get them darn close to on the calendar at this point. Now, if they don't put a price on the calendar, or if they don't put a date on the calendar that day, you've got to have a consistent and speedy follow-up system due to the market situation that we discussed earlier. We recommend the following. If they don't put something on the calendar that day, given the competition you have, you want to follow up with them the next day in the afternoon by phone and email. If you don't speak with them then, you want to follow up 3 days later in the morning by phone and email. Because trust me, the other people that they went to see about this procedure and service are doing their follow-up, so you're most likely in a competitive environment. If you don't get a hold of them then, you should have a 5-day AM morning follow-up by phone and email, and if you don't get a hold of them, a 10-day email. And then obviously they move to your email marketing list from there. Now this assumes that you haven't had any interaction with the client. Hope this helps you. I guarantee you if you put in this process consistently and you do it with speed, you should be working at least a 40 to 45% conversion rate on new patients to procedure. Hope this helps you. Look forward to seeing you next time.